Welcome to TI Skills, and in this video we're going to generate a list of perfect squares using the graphing calculator. And to begin with, we're going to review what a perfect square is. So a perfect square is the product of a number multiplied to itself. And so, for example, 9 times 9 is equal to 81. So 81 is a perfect square because 9 multiplied to itself is equal to 81. Another perfect square is 25 because 25 is 5 times 5. So 81, 25 are perfect squares, and I could go on all day generating this list of perfect squares just by picking numbers and multiplying to themselves, or I could go to the Y editor and input a formula and have it generate a list for me by looking at the table. So let's go ahead, and where it says Y1, I am just going to put in X and then squared, because we know that X squared means I'm going to take X and I'm going to multiply it to itself. So now that I have this input for my Y1, I can go to the table, and now I see the X's that the table has, and then when the calculator squares them, the result, the product, is going to appear in the Y1 column. And so, for example, 5 times 5 was 25, and that formula generated that perfect square for me. And I can use my arrow buttons. I can go up and down this list, and you can see I can go as far as I want to look at this list of perfect squares. Now remember, your perfect squares is in your Y1 column. And the X column is just showing you the number that is multiplied to itself to generate that. And I also can go, and this is important to point out, I can also go up the list into the negative realm of things, and you'll notice that when I square a negative number, it comes out positive, because a negative times negative is positive. And then one more trick before I end the video, and that is, say you want to get to a number that is a large number and see what that is squared. I can go to the table settings, and instead of having the independent or the X variable set on auto, I can change it to ask. And then what that does is it clears my table and allows me to input whatever values I want. So, our list, we looked at values from like 0 to 10, and we could look at the perfect squares for those. But say I wanted to go to a number like 153. Instead of arrowing down all the way down to 153, I set my table on ask, and I can just input this in, and it generates that perfect square. 23,409 is a perfect square. I can also just input any number, like if I want to do 60. And you can see I'm just generating a list of perfect squares by choosing random numbers. And if I always wanted to set my table on, or my settings on ask, I could always just generate my list of perfect squares going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so you see I can still generate that list of perfect squares that we saw before too. So whatever settings you want is up to you, but I hope this video helps. This is showing how to create a list of perfect squares.